Well, good morning, everybody. Happy hump day to you. We got a great class today, CMAs, the MiRealSource way, or easy CMAs for your clients, either way. We love to teach you everything about creating CMAs. We as in Chris.
Hello.
So as you guys know, I'm the Director of Education of MiRealSource. My name's Debbie. This is my full-time job. I don't do sales on the side, which leaves me at a slight disadvantage in teaching real estate agents. That's why we have really smart people like Chris, who are actually out there in the field doing this work.
Yeah, okay. No, you're right. I am really smart. Taught this class a lot and I like it.
Excellent. Now, don't forget, if you have changed brokerages, don't forget to go up into your settings in Cloud CMA in that upper right-hand corner for you guys. It'll either be your initial or your headshot. Don't forget to change out your company logo and then the information where it has your company name. Those are things that you do specifically that does not come from the MLS. And Chris will go into that area, I'm pretty sure, because that's where we do the custom pages, adding things like that, your market stats, cool stuff, cool stuff. All right, 56% have voted, 50%, so I can't read. Half of you have said yes. All right, we're good. I don't need to share the results. So Chris, what's on the agenda today?
Okay, so today we're going to go over how to do CMAs through Paragon. There's a couple of ways to do them. One's the kind of what we call quick way, and the other one is going through Cloud CMA. So with that, Debbie, I'm going to get going. I'm going to click off my audio feed so that you can see my screen. So this is the home page. My cursor is going to zing around in red right there, so you can kind of follow me. I'll walk through it. If you have any questions, type them in there on the bottom there. Debbie's along with me to kind of answer them. And we'll go from there. This is just starting from the MiRealSource homepage. So to do a CMA, the reason we do CMAs is you get a call from a client, a prospective client that says, hey, we're thinking of listing your house, what's it worth? You know, and it's up to your job as the realtor now to go in there for the CMA, which ultimately your goal is to lead it into getting a listing. So when you get that call and it comes in and you say, what's my home worth? We start by doing a CMA, and you have to know as a realtor that a CMA is not an appraisal. It's always good to reference that a couple of times in your CMA in writing so that they know that. I'll cover that as I show it a little more. You're not a licensed appraiser. You have to tell them it's not an appraisal, but here's what's going on for the current market activity. Oftentimes people are thinking of listing a home. They call you up there, you do a CMA, and then they call you 3-4 months later and say, okay, we're ready to list the home. Okay, bad idea if you're going to use that CMA that you gave them 3-4 months ago, because as we all know, market conditions rapidly change at times. So anyways, I kind of did this already this morning. If you get really good at it, you can do a CMA in about 45 minutes or so that it looks really, really nice and really professional. So I got a call from a client that comes in, or potential client. They're a customer right now. They haven't signed any paperwork, so they're not a client. And their address is, hold on one second. Best way is to follow along with me. It's kind of hard to follow me on my screen and do it at the same time, unlike in the live classes where I could see what you were doing. Anyways, the call comes in and their address is 43804 Trillium. So you enter it in here. The first thing I like to do is to do a quick search for a couple of reasons. It shows me that it has previously been on the market. I kind of want to see the information that comes up in the quick search. There you go. Here it is right here. Here's the address. I see it sold a while ago. The thing I'm checking the most is to see what they had the above grade square footage at, and they had a 2,850. Looks like it's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath kind of 4-bedroom home. And the other reason I like going to see if it is on the MLS is right here, this little button that kind of looks like a garbage can. It's supposed to look like 2 pillars. That takes you to BS&A Online. And as a member of MiRealSource, there are several communities where you have to pay that $2 fee. If you go in through BS&A Online, that fee should not be applied. This is in Sterling Heights. The fee isn't there anyways, but I want to go to BS&A and check the public record data for a couple of reasons. I'll show you that when it pulls up on BS&A directly. One of the reasons I want to go to BS&A is I want to see who's on title. I actually just went on one the other day where the title showed it was in both the people's names, but they already had transferred it into a trust. The deed had not been updated to that, so I let them know they need to get with their accountant or attorney rather to get the deed transferred over into the trust name. I've also gone on them where they've been in the name of a trust and the title was in the name of the trust, so they weren't aware of that. And so you just want to see who the owner is. That's the biggest reason we're going on BS&A and trying to confirm who the owner is. In this case, it's showing two people, Mark and Shannon Torzi. There's nobody else. There's no deed, or there's no trust. There's not another name out here or something like that. The reason you want to see what the deed is in is because you want to make sure you're talking to the people who are actually authorized to sell the home. In this case, I wouldn't go and give a CMA to just Mark or just Shannon. They would just have to both be there, because I couldn't take a listing agreement from just Mark or just Shannon. They would both have to sign all those documents. So this is where I first start by going to BS&A. I see that the public record data, however, has the home at 2,773 square feet. The previous listing ticket, as we know, had 2,850. In this case, I'm going to list it at 2,773 because that's what public record data shows. I would also check with my broker and see what my broker would recommend that. I'm just going to list it at 2,773 because that's what the public record data shows. That's what it's showing in the municipality for square footage. And when I check off on my MiRealSource listing form that says where did I obtain the square footage information, I'm going to mark public record data. There are a couple other sites you can check, which I already did. I'm not going to walk you through it. It also shows this at 2,773. So I'm going to list it at 2,773. I also see the year it was built, the bedrooms, full baths, half baths, and things like that. I also click on this tax information just to make sure if I'm sitting down with somebody, if they have anything that hasn't been paid, if these were delinquent taxes, you would see it there in the red. I also come over here to the building department and see if there are any permits that may be open. There was a home I went to on a listing and they had 2 permits that were still open there. So I brought it to their attention and they realized that when they had put their deck on the back of their house, they forgot to go finalize everything with the building department. It wasn't a big deal. They got it done. They got the paperwork done. So we weren't going to have any issues coming up in title when we got to close. So I just kind of checked this as a cursory for my clients. I also save this page now that I have it, and I include it in my CMA later on. I pull it in as a PDF page, and the reason is so when those clients are sitting there and they're saying, hey, where'd you get that? You know, we think we have 2,800 square foot, and I'm going to say, well, here's what the county is, or the tax department saying you do have. They based everything off that 2,773. So I'm going to take this page with me, use it as a talking point if I have any questions. So, okay, we got the basic information that we need. So we're going to go back to Paragon. We're actually going to run a search. Now to do a search, come up to the search. It's a residential. I'm going to include, now an appraiser typically only includes closed. They look for closed properties. In my CMA, I also like to search for actives and pendings. The reason being is that lets them know what their competition is. If there are any actives in the area and they're going to list their home, well, those are the other homes you're competing for buyers with. And if there's any pending, you kind of know what's currently on the market. Certainly closed is the best indicator because that tells you what the actual price is. For all you experienced realtors out there, you know people really want to list their house for much more than sometimes what it actually closes for. So I include actives on there, as well as the sold and pendings. It's up to you. You don't have to. If you can get enough closed, that's all you need. Again, I use it as a talking point with my potential clients to show them what their competition would be. We come in here. You could put in a structure style if you need to. This is an area that I know really well, so I know most of the pretty much all the homes in there are big colonials. They all have basements. My square footage, I'm going to go 2,700 square feet to 3,000 square feet. I'm picking those because I already did this search this morning, and if I went from 25 to 28, I didn't get enough properties, and I played around with it till I got better search criteria. That's why I'm using those. It's good to go a couple hundred square feet either side of the square foot listing and see what comes up in your search, and then you can always refine it to get more or less properties as needed. One other thing I forgot, when you are doing searches in Paragon, and this is kind of a quick reminder, if you're just doing actives, there's no date range. You can't get a date range because actives are actives. The minute you add pendings or close, they're going to give you a date range here once you go to close. And we're going to go back 12 months. Again, I went 60, 90 days to try to get more relevant ones. I already did it. There weren't enough that showed up for a search. 12 months was where I needed to be to get a good number of properties. I came down here, a minimum, I didn't put in the bedrooms and bathrooms. I know that because it works out in the search criteria. The only thing I'm adding on this one that's a little different is the year built. I want a maximum of 2010. The reason being is there's kind of like a couple phases in this area where this home is at. This is why you want to get to know your areas where you're going to be listing homes real well. There are a couple phases. This home was built in 1996, and I don't want to compare it to homes that were built last year or even 2 years ago. Ultimately, it'll help the property value some in the end, but I want to compare it to other homes of the similar age that were built at the similar time. So I know that's the cutoff in that area already. So in this case, I'm adding a maximum year built. Still have a lot of homes in there, but we haven't selected the area. We're going to come up here to the area because I'm going to do a map search. Click on the globe right here, and it will take you to the map search criteria. Up here, you enter your address, which is 43804 Trillium. And click on the magnifying glass. It'll take you right there. I'm in the right area, and I'm going to search a 3/4 mile radius all the way around. Click on search radius. You see where I'm at. I already know it. You know, this is a good area right here. It meets a lot of homes. There should be a few more in there. You click on search, and it'll run the search for you. I think I get 6 homes, 4 homes. Did I do different? Oh, I know what I did wrong. My criteria is 2,600. 2,600. I got 8 homes came up. Here are my 8 homes that came up, all within that area. If I wanted to change anything in my basic search, I just come back here to the criteria area, and I can change any parameters I had set in here. Then I just hit search again, and it'll pull up the home. So I like what I have. I have 8 homes to pick from. I'm going to go back to that search right there. Here are my 8 homes. Now, at this point as a realtor, this is what separates realtors and provides our value to the potential clients versus a Zillow estimate or any other estimate that uses the AVM type method where they just collect a bunch of data points and they say, here's what your home worth. You're going to kind of go through each one of these and look at their pictures and see, kind of get a feel for the range of all right, this home has been really updated, this one hasn't, this one has a better finished basement than that one. You're going to take your time and look through these homes and then select right around 4 homes that are really going to represent the value of their home. The closed homes are always more important than the actives or solds. If I did have actives and solds on here, I would include them. Again, just to show them what their competition is. So I am going to pick some of these homes. Let's say I already did my homework on it. Here's actually one on Trillium. I'm taking all, but it has 4 baths. listed a little high, but that's going to keep this listing price up a little high, but we're okay with that. I'm going to take this home, which is 4 beds, 3 baths, this one, and this one. These become the 4 homes for which, after I've done my diligence and kind of looked through the pictures and everything, I feel this is a good representation of what's in the area. You could use all 8 if you want to. There's really no need to. You can get a pretty good idea by looking through the homes and going through them all. So I'm just showing you how you can narrow it down. I have my 4 homes that I want to use. They're checked in green. All you do is come up here and click on check, and that makes them the 4 homes that you want to use as the basis of your criteria. So from here, the quickest way to do a CMA is you just come over here to where it says reports on the far left of your screen, click on reports, drop all the way down here to CMA. There is a drop down arrow here for CMA, and you have the quick view, the summary, and the spreadsheet. The summary is just what it is. It's a summary. It tells you the address. It tells you all your information. It also gives you the average of all your categories that are up here, down here on the bottom, average, minimum, maximum, median, the medium price point. So you can see it all for each column. Up here at the top of your report just shows you the listing price and the sold price, the high, the low, the average, and the medium. Now, if I had solds, it would actives, it would also show this table for actives and for pendings. If for some reason you wanted to, you were working with somebody and they said, hey, there's certain criteria that they want to see on their report, you can customize this report at any time. You just come up here to customize, click on fields, and anything that's over here, you can add, and anything that's over in these columns, over here is remove, over here is add. So if you wanted, like I don't have concessions in here. So I want to add concessions to this is the status, this status you have to check right here for which table. We are in the sold table. So I do have it. So let's say I wanted to add concessions in here. I just come up here in the search, type in concessions would come up. I put in, nope. Sellers concessions. This is good. I like to keep it on my sold table just in case, there are concessions there. They could affect the way you're looking at the pricing of the home. If someone sold a home and they had $5,000 in concessions, that lets you know what's going on in the marketplace a little better. So I wanted to add concessions. It's not a column in there. I highlight it so it's green. Click the add. It drops into my table. If I want to put it right behind the pricing, the sold price, I just grab it and move it up there. It is set. I hit save. And now you're going to see seller's concession type right here. None of these homes had concessions, which is good. That's how you customize the table. Anyways, this becomes your quick CMA summary report. It's a quick 1 page. I use this a lot with investors if they kind of want to know what an area is. You can also print something out like this if you're looking to write an offer on a property. It's kind of quick to use. There's not a whole lot of information in it. It's good when your customer or client is relying on you to have all the knowledge and they don't want a lot of paperwork. This is just a good 1-page report right here. And again, if we had solds, actives, and pendings, that would also show up here as well. The other options you have is the quick view, which just shows the properties, all of them side by side. If we had selected more than 4 properties, there would be multiple pages. The only thing this does not do, it does not compare it back to your subject property. This just gives you what's selling in the area. There's no information regarding your subject property. So if you just wanted a quick report, you have 3 options right here. The spreadsheet is just gives you the quick figures. I always go to the CMA summary right here. That's the one I use if I'm going to just give it to somebody to talk to them real quickly on it. That's the quick and dirty way of doing CMAs, or the quick way. You create your search, You select your properties, and then you come over here in your reports and drop down and go to CMA Summary, and you will get this page right here. The other way to do it is when we go back to our main search, you have your 4 properties. You come up here in your title bar to the actions. It looks like a electrical plug. And you come down here to Cloud CMA right here. We're going to go to Cloud CMA. This will automatically take you to the Cloud CMA page and create your nice report for you, of which you have several options once you create that report. And this one usually takes a little while to load for me, so be patient and bear with me. The first thing I'm going to do before I get into making the report is I'm going to show you where to go and to check some information about you. So up here in the right corner is your face. If you haven't uploaded a picture or a photo already, then what will be there are your initials. I highly suggest you upload a photo, because every page that you print out in the lower, I believe, left corner, we'll check it in a second, will appear your photo. So you're branding yourself by having that image up there. If you click on this, you come down here to account settings, and that's real quickly where you can make sure your email is the same if you had to change your email, or if you switch brokers and you want to make sure all the information is the same. Some of it you can change on your own. Some of it you have to contact MiRealSource and they have to change it. But this is what's going to appear for you on your information on your page. If you got your contact info, that's the biggest thing right here. I just have my cell number and my email. You could also drop in your Facebook designation, your LinkedIn designation, anything else. If you had a Twitter handle, website, you can add all that there. That will show up where your information appears. So that's on this page right here. It's under the contact info. Here's your profile. Here's your photo where it shows up. Make sure your name is right and everything else right there. This is also where you go to add custom pages. Now in this report, there are a couple custom pages that I like to include in my reports that aren't there. You can either add them once you start doing the report, or you can add them ahead of time. I'm going to show you how to add them ahead of time. It makes creating the report a lot smoother. The custom pages I'm going to add, the first one is market stats. I go and run the market stats for the area, in this case, Sterling Heights, so they can see how homes are trending in the area. The other one that I add is I go to Zillow and I print out what they're saying their home is worth. The reason I do that is, for me personally, it's up to you if you want to, your broker as well. I show them what Zillow, I know they've already looked at Zillow and they have an idea of what they feel their home is worth. And I want to be able to talk to that when I'm presenting them my feel of where the neighborhood is. It could be higher or lower, but most of the times I've ever sat down to do a CMA with a client in front of me, they've already have in their mind what that Zillow number is going to be. So I like to include that custom page in my report. I also, as I told you earlier, I include the BS&A page, which I saved on my desktop, and then you just add them in. So to create custom pages is really easy. Again, I know what I'm going to put in my report. I add them first, then I go and build my CMA for my clients. We come up to custom pages and click on custom pages. And the section for custom pages is divided into kind of 2 parts. So here it is. You have your custom pages up top. This is where you would add anything that you want to put in a Word format. Some of these are already pre-formatted for you, and then just come in and edit them. The one page I always use is called your Cma Criteria Explained. I kind of did this already. I had 8 though that came out, not 6. This is a page I created. I put their name in there and a little bit about what I used to search their home and their property. And then based on my findings, I may or may not give them a range for their home to be listed at. Some people don't like to give any pricing in there. Some people like to give a very hard pricing. It's all up to you, how you feel. If you're an experienced realtor, you find your own way. If you want to give them a range, if you want to give them a hard number or not give them any pricing. If you're not sure, speak to your broker. Your broker will guide you on this. This is just something that I come in and kind of change real quickly for each potential client that I'm going to have. The most important part is what's at the bottom of the page. And it's that the suggested list price range is based solely on the analysts. And I say in there, I haven't viewed your property. So, you know, I'm going based off of pictures, not knowing what your property looks like. Yeah, I kind of know the range, but you might be at the upper end or the lower end. And that's what I'm going to see when I walk through your house. I also put that it's based on the market activity at the time the CMA was prepared. Kind of disclaimer clause, meaning you call me 90 days or 4 months from now saying you're ready to list the property now, this one isn't going to apply. And in the last sentence, again, this comparative market analysis, CMA, is not an appraisal. When I go over this page with the potential clients, I make sure I point out to them, again, that this is not an appraisal. I'm not a licensed appraiser. So up here, it's always good to have something about to help explain them when you leave. If you want to put in the sentence about how much it's worth, that's up to you and your broker. The more important thing is that you have these notes at the bottom of the page, kind of like your disclaimers. That's my custom page, and that's in the top part of the custom page settings, okay? You can change the title if you want. You don't have to call it your CMA Criteria Explained or anything like that. The bottom part of the custom pages is where you add PDF pages. I already loaded up my Sterling Heights market stats, and I already loaded up the Zillow for the sheet just so you guys could see it, but because I saved it as a PDF on my desktop, I brought it in. The BS&A page I also saved as a PDF, and I'll show you how to upload any PDFs that you want to. Custom pages are at the top. PDFs, though, you have to scroll all the way down to the bottom. You click on Upload PDF. Then you go to it, wherever you have it saved. Mine's on my desktop. It's a CMA class. I already named it. I know it's this one. This is for the home, the BS&A info. You click Open. It's just that quick. It is now one of my custom pages. I like to add all my custom pages before I start my CMA. It just makes the whole process of doing the CMA much smoother. So those are how you get to custom pages. You can create a Word document in Word, which I find is a lot easier, and then come in and copy and paste it into your custom pages as a Word document. If you want to do a marketing action plan or update your resume or anything like that, you can do it in Word and then bring it in here. It's a little easier than trying to work in this program. That's how you add custom pages that are like Word pages. This is custom PDF pages. You come down here, click on Upload PDF, and pull them in. All right, so now we have the custom pages loaded. I'm ready to actually do my CMA. So we came here. I don't think it took them over. Why it's loading, see if my original item CMA that I started pulled over. It did not. So I'm going to go back to Paragon, go to Cloud CMA, and I'm going to start a new CMA report. This is how to look. I'm going to name it. I just name it the name of the people that are on title, or during discovery when I'm talking to them, I try to get their name, make sure I get it all right. I also ask who's going to be there, everything else like that. Try to get information when you're talking to them. Private notes on this page, that's if you want to put in any notes to help you remember something regarding the particular property. It does not appear in any reports. Your clients or anybody else can't see it. There are two ways to get listings. Of course, we pulled our exact listings in off of Paragon. I do not recommend using the quick and dirty over here. What that is CMA, Cloud CMA just goes through and based on computer modeling pulls in homes. It doesn't take into account school districts. It doesn't take into account certain areas. I don't ever use this part of it. I always do my own search and then pull the listings over as needed. You can always add more listings or delete listings if you need to. So once you get that put in, your property address, and as you start typing, it does auto-populate in most cases for you. You click on that, it gives you 4 beds, 2 baths, the square footage. You could do some advanced info if you wanted to. You can fill in this if you feel it's necessary. I don't typically do that. Add a cover photo. If you don't add a cover photo, I'll show you what it looks like. Sometimes I think if I have time, I'll drive by the house and snap a nice cover photo to put in there. Shows them that I'm doing my work a little more. You can also take the photo off of BS&A. Don't take it from another listing. It's not your property, but off of BS&A, that's public record data. You can save that photo and put it in there, and you can use that. But right now, we're going to leave the cover photo part empty. I have enough information in here, so we're going to click over here where it says fetch listings, and it'll pull in all the listings that we already had, those 4 listings, and it'll start building your report from there. So you have your listings. The nice thing about Cloud CMA, again, versus over the quick and dirty, it references back to the subject property, okay, which is on Trillium there. If you wanted to set a price right now, you can, and then you can include the net sheet in here if you wanted to. Again, I talk in ranges. I don't set a price when I go and meet somebody, therefore I don't fill it out. But you could put a price in here. For right now, we'll put a price of, I think we'll just go 520,000, just so you can see how this would work. Here's your pricing and net sheet. If you wanted to add in like what it would be for the taxes, the commission splits and all that, you can add in those individual lines and it'll show everything in there. All right. Here are your listings. They typically come up. Here's the order that they're in. I like to rearrange them lowest to highest. So this looks like to be the lowest one. All you do is you move your cursor down till it becomes a palm and just drag it up and you put them in order. You can also select the sort option. Here, I just find it easier because I'm going lowest to highest just to do it quickly like this. I got them in the order I wanted. This report also allows you to make details and adjustments for the property. If you wanted to come in and add an adjustment in here, all you do is start typing. You can put swimming pool minus $10,000 or whatever you feel is needed. It will adjust this price. Personally, I don't get into adjustments. I don't want to start trying to pretend I know what they are based on the market condition. The construction market is always changing, and I don't want to downgrade or upgrade something that was done to a house without having complete knowledge of how much value to add. There's general rules of thumbs out there, but I'm just going to take them listed for how they are on the MLS. So I'm not going to get into adjustments. I don't personally do that. So now you have the criteria, you have the listings, and we're going to actually customize the report, and this is where we build the report. Click on Customize. Here's where you start making your report. The first thing you have is your theme. Once you set it, you don't have to worry about it. You have all different kinds of colors to choose from here that will change the type and the way it all looks. If you work with a brand that has a particular color scheme, you can click on some of those, find one that's close to it. There's, again, click on one that you may like, see how you like it. If not, just come up here and change it again and you'll be all right. I got the modern chocolate and teal for right now. I'm going to leave it. While this is loading. You also have the layout. Right now I have a 4-column comparison, which looks like that. In other words, it'll have 4 homes on it. You can do a photo with the map, 2 photos, all these different selections for how you want your main page for each property to look. I don't recommend the 2-photo page, and the reason I don't is with a 2-photo page, you take the listing photo, the main listing photo, and then the immediately next photo after that. The problem becomes most realtors, we put all our exterior photos and all our kitchen photos, and we kind of group all our home photos together. We don't have the ability to go in and change the order of the listing, so CMA just automatically pulls the photos in the order that they are. So in essence, if you use this one, what you're going to get is you're going to get the photo that appears on the main page of the listing, and almost always it's another exterior shot. So that's why I just don't like this one. You can do photo with max data. Since these are all within a close area, I'm not going to use photo with map. I'm going to just use photo with max data so you can see how the report looks. Covers, if you want to use any of these Power Pack covers, it's a premium charge to CMA. I don't use them. I like the ones that come. We have a good enough selection right there. You can come with CMA. You can also change your font. You have different fonts you can go through and check whichever one you feel suits your personality best. It doesn't matter. You can change these at any time. Right here then are all the pages that's going to be in your CMA. Here, and at any time you want to see what any page looks like, you just click on it and it'll turn it to green, and then highlight it, and it'll show you a preview of what the page looks like. Remember how I said I like to put a photo on there if not? Otherwise, what Cloud CMA does is it takes an overhead shot of the area, kind of with the street, and puts this purple marker there where the house is. I don't like that. I'm going to go back under criteria. I'm going to add a cover photo right here. I lifted this off of BSNA, not the previous listing. I'm going to load that in there. Don't need to crop it. Okay. And we're going to update listing. From that page, once it loaded, all you have to do, it's going to take you to the listing page again. We're not going to do anything there, and just go to the customize. And you'll see the difference when I put that photo in there, how your cover page looks. Okay, we just come up here to customize, report. You can skip all this and just go to customize. All right, so here's our title page now with the photo on it. See how much cleaner that looks? I like this better. So whenever I can get a photo, I try to get one up there. It also puts the date on there by default that you print the report. Doesn't matter when you prepare it, it's when you go to print. So if you're doing this for 3 or 4 days out, it's going to have an old date. And again, here's your photo, your image there, which helps brand you, and I know all this information is correct. So this is how it's going to look for the cover page. You can edit the name of it. I call mine comparative market analysis. You can call it whatever you want. Click on edit and change your cover page. Any of these pages you don't want, just click on this red minus sign next to it. I know the cover letter, agent resume, those are standard pages that load. I change the content. I'm not going to show you all that for this purpose. What is the CMA? This is a preloaded page. You don't have to use it. I like using it because it has some good talking points in there that helps distinguish a little more between a CMA and an appraisal. So I include it in there. And again, remember when I talked about what information's on the bottom of your page? I have my cell phone and my email address. If I had a Twitter and Facebook, all that would appear down here in the bottom of the footer. That's why you want to make sure you have it in there along with my image. So this is a pre-formatted page. You can't edit it. You either include it or not. On all the pages up there, it's called a comparative market analysis, which is on my title page. So whatever you edit that title page to will appear here. And of course, the address always appears up here on all pages as printed. So this is a pre-formatted page. I like it. There's some good talking points in there. If you're a newer agent or if you're a seasoned agent, read through this. There's some good things in there that might jog your memory or help you with your presentation a little better when you're sitting there at the table with the potential clients. I have my contact me page. I'm not going to go through all these. I'm just showing you, again, my image, my information, and again, if you had Twitter and all that other stuff, it would appear right down in here. Map of all the listings shows up pretty nicely where they're at. The subject property is purple, and then you have the other listings that are sold. If you had pendings and actives, they would be green and gold on this map, and you could see where everything's at. Summary of comparable properties. This page is a chapter heading page. I particularly don't like to use them in my printed report. The reason being, I'm not going to tab my report, so it becomes an additional page that's basically a blank page that you can't see real easily going through, so I'm going to remove it. I have my details and I have my photos with the first dozen on one page. Adjustments, if I had done adjustments, it would appear. I'm not doing any adjustments, so I'm going to remove that page. Again, this analyst chapter, that's a chapter heading page. You have all these different things you can include or not include. I'm just going to go through and delete several of these because I already know I don't use them. Some of these pages are pre-formatted. If you want to talk to your clients about intelligent pricing and timing and you don't have a really good speech to give them, this is a good one to look at and use for talking points. That's a pre-formatted page. Information on staging your home, why you need a real estate professional, if you want to get some pointers on the commission distribution. All this stuff are pre-formatted. All these pages are pre-formatted that you can include in your report or not. The more pages you include, the longer your report's going to become. So just be aware, most people don't want to go through, you know, a 70-page report when you drop it on their table. I don't use a lot of this. I'm not having either of these pages. Here's sold property analysis. This is a good page. It gives you an average number of days on market. So they're selling pretty quickly on there. There are a couple of pages that aren't on here that I would like to add. They're in the analysis page. The one I really like to add is what they call online value analysis. The reason I like this page is it tells you, it comes from Zillow. CMA pulls the information from Zillow, shows you on the day it was sold, what the sold price was and what Zillow estimated the price would be on that day. And as you can see, like on this one, it sold for $475 and they said it was at $488. Now, you want to know that information because imagine if you were this guy, you were meeting with this person at Vintage of 43561 and they had in their head that their home was worth $488,000, or this one up here on Fallen Tree that Zillow was saying their house was near $566,000, and you're telling them it's more in the lower 500 is the range. Well, now it's easy to show because this isn't our information, this is Zillow's information giving it to you, and it tells you that they're off by 11%, or an average of $58,000 compared to actual MLS prices. This makes your whole discussion with Zillow super easy. Remember when I talked about font earlier on? See how this $ is in this font? If you kind of don't like that, very simple at this point. We close out of here, we come back up here to font, and you grab another font that you might like. All your pages will automatically reset to the font on that. Online value analysis, we'll see what that page looks like again. And now you have a different looking $. I wanted to include that in my report, so we click on the green plus here. That'll bring it into my report. We also already preloaded several custom pages. My CMA criteria explained, my BSNA, my Zillow, and my Sterling Heights market stats. Anytime you add anything from over here, it puts them at the bottom of your report. To move the location, I want my Zillow right after my online value analysis, which is right here. I like my contact me page at the bottom. That's the last page. It's easier for them to find me. Online value analysis, here's what Zillow says. The sold property analysis, I'm gonna put right there. Your CMI criteria explained, I usually put right underneath what is a CMA. And then the market stats and the BSA I keep at the end. If I feel I'm going to talk to what the markets are doing, I can move that anywhere I want to in my report just by clicking on it. Oh, it didn't take it. I'm going to click on it. Oops. And move it up to, maybe I'm going to move it under the criteria and explain to them what's going on in Sterling Heights. Anyways, I brought in the pages I wanted. I got the color right, everything I want. I'm going to save this template before I get out of here. There are 14 pages in this, and I'm going to call it, I name it last name and usually the last name and then the date just for my reference. Doesn't matter what you want to name it. That's just to save the template. The reason I save it is because if I move out of here for any reason before I publish the report, I'll lose everything I put in there, and then I got to go through and realign my pages, take out the stuff I don't want, add stuff I do want. Once you publish the report, it also saves it as well. So I name it first, and then I go up in here and click Publish Report. Now you'll see what the whole report looks like. We'll see how many pages it is and why that is loading. So we have the PDF. I'm going to view on the PDF. And here's what it would look like. It's 26 pages. It's a lot of pages. There's some things I'm going to show you in here. So here they are in order. Here was my CMA criteria explained that I talked about. Here's the Sterling Heights market stats page. Looks really nice in the report as well. Here's the comparables, kind of everything we talked about. Here's what I want to show you. Here's a comparable home. All right, and this is with max data, the one I selected with max data. And I only, if you recall, when we selected the photo, I only had the first dozen photos. Well, here's the problem with selecting that page. We have 1, 2, 3. We have almost 9 photos that are all the exterior. Very nice photos, but you don't get a feel for the home. This agent has a lot of photos, and you don't see much of the home with that. All the homes are like that. We only have the first dozen photos, so you're not going to get a good feel for the home. If you want to change that, we go back up here to customize for this property. And remember right here, layout photo with max data. That one stays as it is. I'm sorry. You add in the listings, under listings, more photos, all the rest. So what'll end up happening, I'll just show you how this is going to look. We had 26 pages before. I think there's going to be a lot more. Now you're getting all the photos that they have. And in this case, is 4 or 5 more photos, or 4 or 5 more pages times 4 properties. This report's going to jump up. So if we publish this report with the max photos in there, we view it as a PDF. Now you're going to see I forgot to add the page. My bad. Go back to customize. I showed you what it looks like. I didn't add it. Sorry. Listings, more photos, all the rest. Add it right there. It automatically puts it in here with the listings. Now we're going to have all the photos for all of them. And we're going to publish the report. And now this will take a little longer to load because there'll be all those photo finishes. Just a side note, what I like to do if I have the time when I'm going to see clients, I send it to any of the print shops around town, FedEx, Office Depot, Office Max, any of those. I print it on a heavier weighted paper and in color, and I print it on 2 sides, and I have it nice spiral bound. I like it better than a staple in the corner. It's going to run you around $15 for a decent report. But again, if I'm going in on a $500,000 home and maybe they're interviewing other agents, I want to start off by giving them one of the better looking CMA reports that are going to be out there. It's not printed on the regular office paper weight that we usually use. I go with a heavier bonded paper. I print on 2 sides, so when it's color printed, it doesn't bleed through. It just looks and feels better than you know how most agents are going to give a report. You need to allow a couple hours to do that because the printing places usually need that. You can email it to them and then they'll print it out for you so you can go there and pick it up, but there is a cost to that. That's just a little side note. All right, let's view that PDF with all those other photos added. And as you can see, last time we had 26 pages, we now have 40 pages. So when we get down, nothing else changed but the photos. So here's the home. Here's still that first page. Now we have all the photos afterwards. If you feel you want people to, you know, it's 50-50 if I include these sometimes. Sometimes I don't include them. I found more people don't look at a big report. They kind of just look at things. If I see this home has a lot of higher end finishes in it compared to the other homes, I'll make a mental note of that or a little note when I'm talking to them to say, hey, this home was updated, this one didn't, or something like that. These homes in the area are all, you know, pretty well updated and everything else. But so again, you can include all these photos if you want. You get a very, very long report. It gets more costly. I'm not trying to sell these homes to my client. I'm using them as a basis of comparison. So if I see all the finishes and everything look about the same and everything is pretty similar to them, there's really no need to show them what their homes look like, especially since I haven't even walked through theirs. Then what I normally do when I do my reports is under customize, I don't include I take out this photo and that photo, I take them out, and on this page, I go with 4-column comparison. And the reason I do that, I'll show you what this looks like now. I think it gives a better report. Again, I'm not trying to sell them the other homes. I'm trying to get a price range for them based on what I feel their home is worth after I walk through it. So you're going to see how this report went from 40 some pages. It should be a lot less now because I took out all the photos. And we're down to 16 pages. And what you end up with, everything's the same except for we get the photos of the home. Here's your comparable properties. Your properties, their property is always the subject property, and it gives them all their information right here that they can see how they line up with. I find this to be more valuable to the potential clients because they look at this information more so than photos. And there was one more, it's 4, so you will always get 3 per page, the subject property and theirs. And I like this format a lot better so they can see really with the stuff that matters. And your report's a lot cleaner, in my opinion. And it just looks better when you put it down there. I honestly saw where someone gave a client a 75-page report because they had the max photos in there on, I think, 7 or 8 properties. I was there on the listing appointment and I sat through it all. The people looked at just a couple of pages and they kind of didn't even give a cursory look to most all the other interior pages. It didn't interest them. It's up to you what you want to do. I like this. This is it's a quick report. It's 16 pages. I like the color on it. Now that I have that report, I like the way it all looks. I like the way it's all formatted. There's a couple of things I can do with that report. And I'm going to go back to the main Cloud CMA page. Once you have the report printed, oh, sorry, I should have stayed on that page. You have a couple of options. Here's that report. You have a couple of options. If you want to change anything, you can hit the edit button. At any time, you can go through and edit. You don't have to go through these update listings and everything. If you like the listings, you just want to change the customization of it, just come up here to the Customize tab and it'll jump you right to it. Yep, it's still saved everything because I published it just the way it was. So that's how you can go back to customize it if you needed to once it was printed. Back on the main CMA page, you can view it again as the PDF. You can view it live. Live is a good tool if you want it. If the people, 6 months ago, we were still iffy on meeting in person for listing appointments. Cloud CMA, came up with this live feature, which is pretty good, which you can send it to them and you can do them in a live presentation with them. I suggest before you send it out that you get familiar with how these pages look when you click on them, what's included in there, so that when you're talking to them live and they're going through it, what you're using the pages for and how to use them. So that's an option you have if you don't want to meet with them. You can do it live. Of course, you can view it as a PDF. Up here, those 3 dots. You can copy the PDF as a link and send it to them. You can copy the live link and send it to them. You can view it as a slideshow. Slideshow is kind of nice if you bring somebody into your office and you want to give them the published version and walk them through it. You connect your computer to a TV screen in your office somewhere in your conference room, and then you can just you use these as your navigation tabs down here. You got an arrow to your right. This is a preset format. You can't really change it. Anytime, this always takes you back to home. And then anywhere there's a black arrow, It allows you to go through properties. It's hard to see on this one, but this down one will take you through the different pages that they have for the photos. Want to go to the next page, you can just go through that. You know, again, do your work, get this set up, do a quick dry run, make sure everything's good, and bring your clients in and sit them down in your conference room. Pull this up on the TV, on your monitor in the conference room. It's another great tool that they have. Again, that's over here in the 3 dots, and that's View Live. The other thing you can do, you can copy it as a slideshow link, or you can delete it altogether. So that's kind of how you quickly do a CMA. To wrap it up, there are 2 ways. The first version always starts with a search. I always start the fast search up here to see if the property was previously listed. And then you do your regular search based on the criteria you set up to feel you get enough properties. Once you have your selected properties, you come over here down to CMA spreadsheet, and that's the quick way that gives you, CMA summary that gives you this page right here, which does have customizable features to put in the fields you want. The other way to do it is once you have your search selected and your property selected, you come up here to where all your quick actions are. You go up to the one that looks like a plug that says action, click on that, Cloud CMA, and it'll automatically start generating your report for you. That is kind of the quick way, and then the regular way to do it. Again, CMAs are very, very important because the CMA is what is going to separate you as a realtor moving forward. It's that human interaction, and it's where you're really going to truly create your value when you're sitting down with that client versus all the other automated websites they can go to where they can quickly get a value for their home. And that's why CMAs are not just something you want to kind of blow off and think they're unnecessary. They are every bit as important as your listing presentation, because a good CMA is going to help determine and show your worth to that potential client. So unless there are any other questions on CMAs, I'm just going to go over a couple things really quick back on the home page and show you a few things on the home page for MiRealSource. So on your home page right here for MiRealSource, if you click on the button over here that says MLS, you can find quick links for technical support, our class set, schedule, webinar library, some other things like that. Also up here, we have a YouTube page. Click on the YouTube, and if you haven't already, please, 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 I encourage you to subscribe. Debbie does a great job of posting a lot of the stuff that we've already covered. If you subscribe, you know, a lot of these classes that we've had by different instructors are up here. Up on here. That's a direct link from the MiRealSource homepage. It's right here under YouTube. Please subscribe when you go there. It really helps the MLS. The more people we can get subscribing, better it is for us. And also up here where it says Mls Documents in this very thin top blue bar, if you click on that, it takes you to education. There's all kinds of files and all the handouts that you get in any of the training classes you can find in here. They're great reference points when you want to figure out something that you are having a little difficult and you can't quite figure out. And that was up under Mls Documents in the upper left corner. We have different folders. We have the library. Just go through all these. Some great tools that you can find here and some great information. It's like anything, right? If you want to be a good realtor and know how to use all the tools, you have to practice using them. And to practice using them, you set up, unless your volume's super high, then you set up doing it for your parents' house or your own home, doing CMAs on that, or just pulling out random properties and working your way through the system. I can do a CMA for somebody I never met before on their house because a lot of stuff I already have pre-formatted. I can get it done in about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, including my analysis of the other properties, and give them a feeling confident when I walk in with the price range that I'm going to give them. And the reason is I just kept practicing this all the time. So other than that, Deb, okay, I think I got our videos. Is my video feed showing now? Whoops.
Yep. There you go. You got both.
Okay. I don't know how to change screens to get you on there.
Oh, do you want my face on here?
No, you don't have to, but I'm going to sign off for now. Debbie's going to finish up with you guys. We really appreciate you coming by today and watching the class. Hopefully we'll all start seeing each other out there a little more as things continue to get better. Stay safe and stay healthy, and let's hope you have a great year in 2022. Debbie, I'll turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Chris. Always appreciated. All right, class, thank you so much for attending today. A couple of things I did not mention is we do have all of the handouts are uploaded to the webinar here over on your right-hand side. Just click that little orange button to open up that panel again, and you'll see the 5 different handouts that we have for CMAs. And of course, where Chris's screen is at right now, under the MIRS education file, there are 89 different files in there. Those are all of our cheat sheets. So it doesn't matter how you like to learn. We have our cheat sheets that are on paper. If you want to print them out, scribble them up, go for it. Remember, the most updated ones are always going to be right there. We also have our video library, which is on YouTube. So every class that we do, there's a few that we don't put up on Facebook, like our proprietary courses, our new agent welcome, photography class. Those are the 2 of the ones don't. And of course, yesterday's listing entry class is going to be edited today, and I will get that up shortly. And then I'll be working on Chris's video as well. So excellent. Thank you very, very much, gang. Oh, hey, the great news. If you guys didn't read one of the notes that pops up in the MLS, NGLAR, which is the Northern Great Lakes Realtors MLS, that's Traverse City Central and is it Northeast associations, their MLS, which you always had to get into by clicking into the resources and then going to their data, they have agreed to sharing cooperation and compensation. So no longer will we have to ask to show their property and ask to get paid if we bring them a ready, willing, and able buyer that closes on a property. So as soon as the Upper Peninsula MLS is mapped into our database, then we will work on mapping NGLAR's information into the database. So no longer will we need that single sign-on to NGLAR. We'll simply see it right in our database. Awesome news, huh?
That's great news, especially if you have clients down here that are looking for property up in that area. In the past, it was kind of hard, especially if it's a vacation property. It was kind of hard to get a commission on it. Okay, I'll write them a letter, see if I can get 25% or something like that. But I do have clients that have property in the area. You know, you can also now listings become easier. If you have somebody down here that you service real well that has a vacation property that they want to sell, you can now take the listing up there. So that's great.
Pretty awesome. Absolutely fantastic. All right. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we will catch you on the next webinar.
Thank you. I'm going to sign it off now, Deb. Bye.
All right, bye.